topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's lives by helping them identify the root causes of their health and mindset issues and create a custom natural holistic strategy to address them in the areas of mind, body, and soul. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I can certainly make your body more efficient by reducing symptoms. You'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life more. Not many people have released 70 pounds, had a health and mindset transformation, and kept fit and trim for over a decade. I have, and I have staying power. And it's been over 12 years. I even became a half marathon runner at the age of 51 when I never ran from childhood to adulthood due to foot pain. And I've done 8 half marathons so far. Mindset is the key to lasting change. As a certified holistic health coach, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. I guide them to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrients. My coaching is for optimizing health, releasing weight efficiently when needed, and enhancing your mindset. With my clients, I help them recognize that their thoughts, feelings, and emotions drive their actions and results. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. That's why it's crucial to have a positive mindset in life. It's also imperative to manage and release those low vibrational emotions like fear, frustration, and doubt, because all that's going to do is slow you down and get you stuck physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Like a hot air balloon that has balances, I help my clients release those emotional imbalances and baggage so they get uplift to a better, happier, healthier life. In turn, they are releasing their stress. They're getting healthier and they're reshaping their core beliefs. You'll see and feel the differences in my coaching programs. Ask me about them. Set up a complimentary consultation at Debi Changes Lives. That is DEBICHANGESLIVES, as in Victory, ES.com/Linktree, LINKTREE. And I will guide you to that better, happier, healthier life with custom natural solutions unique to you in the areas of mind, body, and soul. And we're now in the holiday season. And what is a better gift to give somebody? A gift of health. Right now, Take Your Body Back is 20% off until December 31st, 2025. It is a 12-week weight release and mindset coaching program where you can utilize a new version of you for your success. Use this QR code if you're watching the video and scan it to get more information. If you're listening to this as a podcast, go to https://Debi, Changeslives.com/Take Your Body Back, all as one word, and get more information. You're going to enjoy this course, and it's going to be so beneficial for you and others. So share them with others who may need it. Now, I am honored today to have Rocio Ramos, marketing manager and fitness expert from Youngevity. And she has over a decade of experience in marketing, health, and wellness expertise that results in health and fitness transformations in numerous of women of all ages and health levels. She is a personal trainer, and she's been a personal trainer for over 10 years. And she also supports the Youngevity community with workouts and other health advice. Today, we'll be discussing about how unlocking daily protein secrets for healthy aging. So let's welcome Rocio Ramos, Youngevity's marketing manager and fitness expert. Rocio, welcome to my show.
Hey, Debbie. Thanks for having me. This is exciting. I know we talked about this months ago, and now here it is. The day has come. So I'm excited to be here with you and with everybody as well.
Well, thank you for coming because, everyone can learn more about how to be healthier. And it's interesting with our topic with protein, every different plant has different levels of protein in it. Keto is like moderate protein, and people sometimes are on vegan diets and things like that. So it's really important to have the right amount of protein. So why aren't people eating enough protein, Rocio?
And this is an interesting topic, I think, right? And I think that's a topic that's becoming more and more popular. You see it on Facebook, on Instagram, social media. They're like pushing protein every which way impossible. And I think it's because we're finding so much more research on how essential it is, especially as we are aging, for healthy aging, especially for women. And the reason really at the root causes why we don't get enough protein is, well, I guess there's a couple of reasons, right? I think a lot of the times it's lack of knowledge, and then the lack of emphasis on it. I think when, people go on diets, they think of cutting calories, but that's not really the same. And you definitely don't want to be cutting protein out when you are cutting out calories, right? So I think always, we think of less is more, but in this case, protein is the building block of muscles. And what do muscles do? Muscles burn fat. So even on diets, it's so important that we're getting protein. But again, a lot of the times it's, people just don't know. I think it's lack of information. And additionally, not even lack of information of not knowing protein, it's lack of knowing what foods really are high in protein. And that is a big time problem. I mean, I see it so much. I am a personal trainer still. This is something that really brings me so much passion, is changing people's lives through movement. But I see it now with like my parents as they're aging. My mom, I ask her, hey, I want to check in with her. She is about to turn 70. Like, you getting your protein? And she's, oh yeah, I had my egg and I had some cottage cheese today. And that if you look at the kind of Google, like what a cup of cottage cheese and a cup of like an egg is, that's maybe 20 grams of protein. And really, we are looking at most people should be eating higher to like the 100 grams of protein a day. And, historically, I think looking at the old FDA recommendations and food pyramid sort of stuff, like protein was really at the bottom of that. I think the old daily recommended value of protein, I want to say, was something like 50 grams. I think I have it written somewhere down here, but I mean, nothing to what we actually really need. And I think that's really the big problem, right? Debbie, I'm sure you're seeing this now too, as a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing it with, older people and as well as, younger people. They just don't realize how much protein that they need to eat because you're not, people are not really know the value of the foods. Like you said before, we're talking about the food pyramid, but also what the foods contain, how many grams of protein, how much fat in it, how much fiber, how much carbs. And it's really interesting, I know the vegan diet is really popular, but it's pretty high in carbs. So it's people need to pay attention to that. And because it's going to affect whether it's whether you're going to be gaining weight or not being able to release weight because of that. And protein is the building block for your muscles. And that's something that we really need to pay attention to. So now, why is it so difficult for people to get adequate amount of protein in their diet?
So I think we sort of touched on that before, right? I think it's lack of information and then lack of resources at times, right? I mean, what's going to be easier or I guess more affordable, right? It's probably going to be potatoes and vegetables versus, some chicken and like a good quality meat. So I think a lot of the times that also plays a factor in it. But I think, again, the lack of information of where to get protein from, I think is huge. I know, starting off too, and I still get it now when people ask me, oh, well, how much protein is in this? Like, oh, well, I had 2 eggs for breakfast. So that's, a lot of protein. Sure, that contains a lot of protein, but eggs are really also high in fat. And not that I love eggs. I think they're so great for you, right? But that's really should not be your maybe bigger source of protein for your breakfast, right? I think that maybe adding some egg whites, some turkey bacons, something that is going to also add some, Greek yogurt, also really good for like a protein intake. But I think a lot of the times no one really knows where to get protein from, right? And I think that that's kind of what ends up happening a lot of the times.
Yeah, well, just for example, for my own breakfast, I have 2 eggs. I add goat cheese to it. And then I have, about a quarter of a cup of yogurt. And then I add a little bit of protein powder to that yogurt. And I have strawberries. So that's my breakfast. But I tend to eat 3 meals a day and a snack. And that's really worked well for me because I'm a runner.
For sure.
Yeah. And so it's been, a good way for me. And I've actually added up the number of grams of protein. I'm not getting 100. I'm getting a little bit over 80 because I'm eating 4 ounces of chicken. And I also have it for, I have chicken, sometimes twice a day, but I also eat another type of protein at night. I'm a salad person in the middle of the day. And then I also, with my salad, I have goat cheese or maybe some nuts and things like that. And then in the evening, I have some vegetable salad again. And so I'm getting a good mix of things. And then I have a shake as a snack. So
I think that's I think that's important because what you talked about your protein intake throughout the day. And I think that's also a reason why sometimes people have a hard time getting enough protein is because maybe in their breakfast, they're not kind of loading up. And I know that I've spoken about this before, because by the time you get to the evening times, you might be tired, right? Maybe you're not super hungry. So it's like, you don't want to eat a lot of protein at the end of the night. You don't eat a big piece of chicken or salmon or steak. So I think it's important what you said is you like try to get a lot of your protein earlier in the morning, and as do I. That's really where I'm like, I have a protein shake that I mix with some Greek yogurt. I add some of that peanut butter powder in it too. So about maybe 40-ish, 45 grams of protein in my shake alone, aside from the protein powder that I'm putting in there. And then I have my egg and egg whites and some turkey bacon. And sometimes I'll add some cottage cheese to my breakfast too. So time, the morning's over, I'm probably closer to like 70 grams of protein. So I don't have to worry so much now throughout the day of having to get more protein in my lunch and in my dinner as much.
Yeah, I kind of spread it apart. But, I'm getting enough protein. So, when we're talking about the actual need, you're talking about in the food pyramid, it might have been 50 grams. And you're saying everybody needs 100?
So I wrote this down too. So that would be the kind of lower range, right? So I think historically was 50 grams of recommended daily protein a day. And now what research is showing is that you should be consuming 1.2 to 2 grams per kilogram of your body weight. So let's say, for example, like maybe I weigh 150 pounds, right? So if I get the kilograms of that, I would be 68 kilograms is what my body weight would be. So I would aim for somewhere between 82 to 136 grams of protein a day if I multiply 68 times 1.2 or 2.0. And, additionally, that has a big, if you exercise more, I think that's going to put you on the higher range of like, you should be consuming closer to 2 grams of protein per your body weight of kilograms. So that is really going to be determined by your activity levels. I think for the most average kind of person that does a little bit of movement, some walking throughout the day, I think 1.2 grams per grams of your body weight is where you should be. But like for you, Debbie, probably would be somewhere like in the middle. Since you're doing a lot of running, you want to be maybe at that 1.6 to 1.8 grams protein per your body weight.
And, adding a little bit more, I think it's very doable. Because that shake that I have as a snack, it actually has a lot of protein in it too. So, but I think I get a higher 80s, but maybe I just need a little bit more. So I'm not that far off.
No, I think you're doing great. Yeah. And I mean,
I live a keto lifestyle, but it doesn't mean I'm keeping my protein at that level. I raise my protein up automatically when I went on maintenance. So I just need to raise it a little bit more. And
yeah, and I think with keto, I don't see any you adding more protein to your diet being an issue, right? I think as long as you're maintaining your carbs pretty low, then adding protein is even additionally if you're following a high carb diet too, right, and a low fat diet, same thing is the protein really is going to be there for muscle building, for fat burning versus as an energy source that would be coming from your carbs and from your fat is where that energy source for you would be needing from.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I haven't gained weight. I'm the exact same size. So, what can I say? I've been okay.
That makes me so happy, Debbie. I mean, just because, like, you and I met, I don't know, maybe 8-ish years ago at one of the conventions, and it was, through one of our programs that we had here. But I think at the time you had just started your running journey. So it's just like so beautiful to see so many people that come through with Youngevity and that have met along the way that nutrition and lifestyle has changed your life so much. And I see that still to this day from so many people. And it's just inspiring. And that's why, obviously it's what you're doing. That's why you're doing what you're doing now. So it's just so great to see because you are, a product of the program.
The product of the product. Well, that first introduction to the 90 essential nutrients was such a mind blower for me. Because I noticed it, because I already was on maintenance and I lost 50 pounds. I was so dead tired with energy. I was like, I don't believe in supplementation, but I wasn't taking that supplement yet. And when I asked the place where I was doing the weight release program with them, I said, yeah, you need to take it. And I switched it. And I'm like, 4 days, I had a natural sense of energy. And I wasn't going to bed so early at night anymore. So that was a major shift. And I wasn't running at that time because it was painful to run. I was walking on a treadmill. And honestly, I decided to just ease into running, 4 to 5 days a week, 5 minutes at a time. And I got into changing completely to running on a treadmill. A friend said to me, who is a runner, oh, that's nothing. Come running with me. And she got me hooked. And she's the one that said, you got to do a half marathon now. And I looked at her like, are you nuts? But I actually finished it before she did because I just went off that stampede. And she's like, Debbie, slow down. And I didn't feel like I needed to slow down.
I think it's incredible what your body can do, right? When you're feeding it the right nutrition, when you're building muscle. And I think, one of the reasons why this topic is also so important to me is because as we're aging, because we lose muscle, that's just, science. Our bodies, we're going to get older. We're going to start losing muscle. And one way to slow that down is through, the right protein intake, is maintaining protein and continuing to eat because, a lot of times, and you do see it so much as, you're aging. I see it with my parents is like, they eat less. So, I get that. I get that people are eating less, but, shakes, that's why I stress this with my mom too, is she's got to start adding some protein shakes into her diet because she's not going to get it from food. She just doesn't eat as much as she used to. So I think that that's, a difficult.
I think with older people, it's simplicity. They don't feel like cooking.
Yeah, that too.
So I think
I'm done.
I think that shake is going to be really beneficial to them. And maybe if they want to do 2 shakes a day or something that's really simple, like,
And yogurt is what I tell my mom because I know she loves yogurt. So, hey, mom, add a scoop of protein in there. So she's getting a little bit more. But yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be taught more, to our senior kind of community and to aging adults is like, just giving them little kind of tricks onto how to add a little bit more protein to their diets.
Yeah, and you taught me to add the protein shake to the yogurt, and I was like, oh, that actually flavors the yogurt. I was always having it flavored.
There you go. I know, like there you killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, so that's what I do, and it really helps, and I can give it variety depending on what I want to do. Just like with the shakes, if people buy a variety of different flavors, they can have variety with that, or smoothies, or whatever they decide to do. But it need to add that protein, some kind of yogurt, some kind of, protein shake, and they can get a variety of shakes, like a vegan shake or clean whey protein shakes, or a keto shake. They still have a keto shake, which I actually love because of the fiber in it. But my whole point is, there's a lot of ways to add that to that. And also, you said you could add things like sesame seeds or other type of nuts.
And a good, yeah, and I think nuts add a little bit of fiber, right, to a lot of protein shakes too. So I think that's just a good addition. There's a lot of tricks that you can add, nutrients to your shakes. Adds a little bit of like healthy fats, a little bit of fiber. So that's also a really great way to get nutrition in when you add nuts, hemp seeds, that sort of stuff to your shakes.
And chia seeds. Honestly, I can't have any tree nuts in the house, so I have to stick with sesame seeds. He can handle a coconut, but that's a tree. Yeah. In a way, that's a tree nut, but for some reason that doesn't bother him. And almonds and everything else. So it's like it's gonna be coconut milk or.
I love sesame seeds. I really got into. There's a sesame seed butter, and I feel like it tastes better than like normal peanut butter. It's like creamier, I think.
Oh, really? I've never tried that. Maybe I should try making that or giving it already. Oh, yeah. Because he's a picky guy, and I know before when I last saw you, I actually made these little bars out of nuts, and that turned out to be a really lifesaver for me on a trip. And I added it to my yogurt every morning when I was there, and I was like, well, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And some of the people in the that we shared a place with, they liked it too, the ones I made. So yeah, I'm always learning and growing and doing different things together that I like. So there's always some tricks that you can do to up your protein. And you'd be surprised if you just look up your food facts. There might be some protein, some vegetables you have, like peas and as well as the problem with soybeans is that 90% of it could be a GMO product. So you don't know what you're getting. So soybeans you want to stay away from. But you can find other avenues just by looking up your favorite vegetables and see how much protein they have.
Yeah, because there are definitely a lot of vegetables, especially green vegetables, I think that carry some protein in it too. So that for sure is adding, like you said, some protein. But I'm just like being careful, right, with anything like soybean, tofu, that sort of stuff. But being if anybody is like vegetarian or vegan, they can look into like those nice clean plant-based shakes. We carry one that's really good, so that's easier, I think, for that population to get protein, but they definitely need it.
Yes, they do. Maybe they should try to be vegetarian. I don't know.
Just add a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. I know that, if it's the animal thing, I get it for you guys. I'm not trying to boo-hoo you at all. I know a lot of vegan people, and that's the lifestyle that they chose. And you can really tell by the way they look, they're not getting something enough. And maybe that's the protein that they're not getting enough of.
Yeah. And it's not impossible. It's just a lot more difficult,
it's harder,
right? I think because I do know some athletes who are, vegan, but the effort that needs to be put into them getting protein is, quite high. And that's why it becomes difficult for a lot of people to build muscle when they are vegan. But it's definitely not impossible. It's just, like you said, it's a lot of research. It is finding those meals, those dishes, those shakes that you can supplement with in order to meet your protein intake.
Yeah, I guess it's more seeds and nut based for them.
And, which is okay. Then I'm sure a lot of them eat a bunch, it's like they're more low carb too, right? They're eating kind of more of those green vegetables that are low carb, maybe not so many, of the starchy vegetables like potatoes and squash. So it's definitely, I think I applaud all of those people that do that. It's so difficult. I tried it, and it is, I think if you're a busy person, it's really hard. I was eating so many beans. I was like, okay, I can't survive off of legumes. So
Well, I guess there's a lot of, they can make a lot of things into butter, the nuts into butter. So that would help, help that intake as well. It's a lot of research, but things can be done if that's really the way you need to live your life. I just know that for me, even though it's not for everybody, because some people don't have a gallbladder, keto was something that really works for me for maintaining my weight. But it's not something, when I have people in my weight loss program, I have the wellness, 90 in there as well. And the new GLP program as well. So it's, where they can get, utilizing the new GLP so that you can moderate and rise up the GLP so you can crave less and release weight as well.
yeah.
And you can mix that GLP with different type of food programs too, depending on what you do.
Yeah. That's a really great new system that we just introduced, and which makes me really happy. I think a lot of people are having a lot of success with that and doing it kind of the right way. And I think, was it Jill that was talking the other day? But still, most people are still maintaining they're on GLP, but they're drinking a lot of protein shakes, ensuring that they're meeting their protein needs, even though they might not be craving all those unhealthy foods, but I still think they're still getting the nutrition. So I think that's very helpful.
And with any weight loss program, watching alcohol intake, sugar intake, it's really important. When you are doing a new lifestyle, you need to really truly be committed to it if you want to be successful. Both mindset and the program that you chose, because that's going to make you a lot more successful. And just realize that, you see me have some alcohol. Okay, I have some alcohol. I may not be releasing weight right now, but get back to getting off of that, because as alcohol, really, people don't realize it makes it harder for you to sleep.
And that's important too, right? I think sleep is another pillar of health that is essential. Sleep, stress. You could be eating all the right stuff and getting your nutrients. And then if you're not sleeping right, if you're stressed out, your body's not going to respond to any of that nutrition. So that's also very important. I think that's why I even stress to any person who comes into a gym or who's looking for a weight loss program and they're talking to me and I'm like, listen, you need a professional to help you, because that's the only way, like yourself, that's the only way that you're going to have some sort of accountability, that you're going to really get the success that you need. It's hard to try to lose weight, to work out, do anything on your own. I always recommend for anyone with starting a movement plan, I'm like, I know it's expensive, but you're going to want to get a personal trainer for a couple of months, because they need to show you the right stuff to do. They need to, and I know a nutritionist is expensive, but you need to pay for it, because what's more expensive, Debbie, right, is going to be sick when you're getting older. So I think investing in yourself now that you're younger and that we're able to do it, I think is where we need to focus.
Yeah, and not only that it makes you accountable, it's a different perspective coming in. I know when I was releasing my weight in this weight loss clinic, I honestly learned a lot from them. Number one. Number two, it's like, why am I hitting this plateau? And they explained to me and they gave me some ideas that, break the plateau. And that's why, someone like me will help you break those plateaus. Because it not only could it be a physical, what you're eating, but it also be an emotional thing that's making you get you stuck. Like I said, low vibrational emotions will slow you down and get you stuck. Will also get you stuck on your weight release journey. So, and there's also, when you have extra stress in your life, really a lot of stress, which this year has been an interesting year. That's all I can tell you. People probably have a little bit more health issues than they've ever had in the past. And every little health issue is like a layer on top of each other. And I used to say it's like an onion that I help you peel one layer at a time. But when you have, more stress, it creates more inflammation in your system on top of all of that. And so you need to get rid of that noise, so to speak, that stress is creating for you. And emotions create stress, and stress creates emotion because it's a little cascade. And it causes health issues where it's going to affect your, your insulin will spike, your cortisol will go up, and they could have problems with thyroid or problems with hormones. All this is going to slow down your metabolism, make it hard to release weight. And that's why I really, I'm really honored to have learned so much from people at Youngevity, and I'm a certified holistic health coach as well. And it's made a big difference in my life, not only for my transformation of my health, but my transformation of my mindset. And I've learned so much in the process. Every call, every course I took, everything I did, every convention I went to, we always are learning something new. And recently we learned, recently we learned about the new hope system as well, which honestly, I don't have any hot flashes, and I'm in post-menopause, and I was like, why do I need this product? And when I found out all these other symptoms, and some of them I had, not all of them, I was like, wow, I guess I do have symptoms.
Yeah. You don't think about it, right? Because I think, again, this is another sort of topic that I think is becoming more talked about, that used to be kind of like, you don't talk about this, hush, hush, this is what it is. And I think premenopause, menopause is now something that it's like we're finding so much more about it. And you're right, with this new hope system, it's like you don't think about your digestive system. You don't think about your aches and pains. You don't think about like whatever it is, because this is all stuff that happens as your hormones are changing, but it's not something that you were told, right? So you think like, oh, I don't have any sort of symptoms, but hey, actually, maybe you're brain foggy, maybe you're anxious or whatever. And yeah, it all happens when our hormones in our body starts to change as we age.
Yeah, and so it's not only as we age, it's also what we eat, also what we are exposed to around us, the events that we're in. Also, when we exercise, it is a little bit of stress on your body, but you're doing it for being healthier and keeping your muscles toned and keeping your cardiovascular system. For me, running is a release, because running actually makes me happier. I tend to be more creative when I run, and I have fun. Sometimes I make it into a treasure hunt. I'm a runner outside, obviously.
I love that.
I make it into a treasure hunt. You're like, oh, also, in one run, I had 3 peregrine falcons on my run. And that was pretty darn amazing.
Yeah, most people don't see any.
Most people don't see any. And then I've always seen squirrels. And you know what's really funny? I chase the squirrel, and they're running good. They're going really fast and over these walls and stuff. And it's fun to do that. Or you're watching the glistening of the leaves, or you're just looking at the clouds and just going, oh, that looks like a teddy bear.
And I think that I love that. And that, obviously not everyone's going to be a runner, right? But I think finding the joy in whatever movement you decide to fall in love with, whether it be that or bicycling or weightlifting or swimming, finding fun in that, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to test myself a little bit more. Hey, I'm going to go chase this. I'm going to look for this. I'm going to try to do 5 more reps of whatever I'm doing. It's like making sure to find the joy in exercise and movement that you enjoy.
Exactly. And you probably I've done things that I didn't expect to do. I mean, I went out for a run that my goal was to get 6 miles in, and so I wanted to get a couple hills. I went up some hills and things like that, and I kept on running faster, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do some some intervals and things like that, some training things in between. Well, I ended up doing 7 miles. It was my fastest 7 mile run I've ever did. And a neighbor said, he was watching me do this stuff because I'm running around the neighborhood and doing all this stuff. And he's like, oh, 7.
You're like, I don't know, I lost track. I was having so much fun.
Yeah, I did lose track. I was only going for 6, and I was like, I did 7. So, and sometimes, I just do it for the calmness. I mean, sometimes I love foggy mornings, and people tend to be not driving, which is probably a good reason for that.
Yes.
But it's so quiet and peaceful. And so that's why I enjoy my runs. I enjoy skiing for the exact same way, quiet and peaceful. That's why I enjoy hiking as well. But everything, you got to choose something that you love for your physical fitness.
Yeah.
And you got to choose something that you love for what you want to eat, but realize that sugars are not good for you.
But not that.
Exactly. But you can always get some sweetness in a different way, that won't tax you as much. So my hope, and you can also get the protein in a different way that will be in a variety of flavors. I mean, I love spices because it makes it. I didn't have any of this stuff when I was releasing weight. I felt like I was eating cardboard sometimes. And playing chicken and all this other stuff.
Well, right. But I've had people like, oh, well, gosh, I just I really hate breakfast. I just really don't like eggs. And I was like, wait, well, eggs are not the only way to get protein in your mornings,
No, it is not.
hey, let's try some Greek yogurt. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I could do that. How about some overnight oats and add some protein in there? Yeah, so I think a lot of the times people kind of have a misconception of you've got to eat this to get enough protein. Like you said, it's just they don't know what's kind of a good source out there, and then they realize oh wow, actually I do like that. Oh yeah, I like a tuna salad, whatever it is. And I think being able to, like you said, find what you like to eat is going to be helpful.
It is, and you can change it up so you're not bored.
Yeah.
That's my whole point. You can make eggs into anything. Like I told you, I also put basil or spinach or whatever I want to do with those eggs.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do, salsa or whatever. I just did different things, and it makes it a lot less boring with eggs. And the same thing with the chicken I cook or any type of protein I cook. The only protein I can't eat is beef. It doesn't agree with me. But other than that, I pretty much eat, and of course I don't eat pork. Other than that, I eat lamb. I eat, chicken and salmon and fish. So that's what I do. Everyone has their own little, where they can't eat too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find out what you love.
Yeah. So I'm going to give the audience an offer right now, but and you'll be up in case you want to say something. But anyways, this is what I'm going to offer my audience today. If you can bring that up, my offer is one sample of a single serving protein shake. You can choose a flavor based on availability, and this is for a limited time. You need to go set up a complimentary consultation in order to get this, and you have to mention protein. And I'll get your address and ship you the one that I have available at the time. Now here we have a limited edition shake. And we have the vanilla and the chocolate TMR shakes. I don't have protein. I don't have the vegan shakes at the moment. So, but what would you say about these shakes right now?
Well, first of all, the pumpkin spice shake is delicious. That's probably our best tasting shake that we have right now. And I think it's important to note that the pumpkin spice one is low fat. It's keto friendly. I think a good source of whey protein, right? But also that one is limited edition. So if one of your customers or somebody coming in wants to try something that maybe might not be around for long, definitely try that pumpkin spice shake. It is a really great, easy source of protein. You can add that to your yogurts, right? So you can add it to build a shake out of it. TMR those are both really great protein sources, and they also have a really healthy amount of carbs in there. So I think that's why, it's kind of advertised as a meal replacement, because I think it can be used right on its own. But those are really great shakes as well. The chocolate vanilla, great tasting, really good source of protein. That one, again, higher in calorie count and in carbs because of that. But if you're following a more so high carb diet, TMR is great. If you're following low fat keto, then probably the pumpkin spice shake is where you would want to go.
Yeah. And all of them can be mixed into yogurt.
Yes.
And you can even put the pumpkin spice shake into a coffee if you wanted to. So
I think there's a recipe. I think it's on that packaging for
yeah,
the
I think
pumpkin spice, or for like a latte, pumpkin spice latte.
yeah, I think so too. Okay. Well, I love talking to you about protein. And I hope you want to be a guest again. Do you want to be a guest again?
I had so much fun. Yes, chatting
Yeah.
with you, Debbie. I'm always here.
And you actually went a little bit off the protein topic, but we
That's
needed.
okay. I think most people in the audience are, yes, protein is probably one of the reasons why they came, but I think some of the things that we touched on are all lifestyle things that everybody should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll continue, I think, conversations to hear a lot more about this. So it's all important.
It's all important, exactly. So please stick around for closing remarks because you have a minute at the end, okay?
Yes.
Okay. 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 Remember, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas for health and mindset. And I start off with the gut and mindset. And I do help people with hormone issues, blood sugar issues, brain and heart issues, bone and joint issues, anything, immunity issues. And from anyone who has anxiousness up to athletes, because I do guide you to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrients. Which help you reduce symptoms. You'll feel better. And if you're anything like me, you may release some weight. You remember in the story, I said I lost 50 initially. I lost another 20 when I started the 90 for Life nutrients. It's going to make your mood, a lot better. I got to tell you, when you're happier. Also, with my mindset coaching, I help you release stress, emotions, attainments in the past, as well as you're going to be reshaping your core beliefs. So set up a complimentary consultation, and there you get to know me and I get to know you. And this is at Debi Changes Lives, DebiChangesLives, as in Victory, ES.com/Linktree. And once we get to know each other, you can bring up the next slide. I'll guide you to optimum health. And you'll be doing 1 or 2 health assessments. The first one's actually complimentary. It is the health evaluation where you rate your symptoms in the last 30 days in 4 categories of health. Some questions are overlapped. Answer them all. You get a baseline score. I review it with you. And when you move forward with my services, I'll create that custom natural holistic strategy for you. And we review this on a monthly basis. I also have 2 different body Zyto scans. I prefer to do the Zera link because I can send it remotely and internationally. And it's actually gone to Australia as well as South Africa. The Zera link is a transdermal optical imaging app that I will send to your phone. You scan your face for 30 seconds, and it's only going into your skin to see blood flow for energetic, functional, and emotional for different body systems and lifestyles. And I review it with you. It's quite intensive, and that's why it costs $75. When you move forward with my services, a program or a product, you'll get a $25 credit I'll pay for toward those things. And also, just remember, Zera is a transdermal optical imaging app, also known as TOI, and you can look up those terms on PubMed.gov for its accuracy. I give you a package of 5 scans too, where you can save $50, and people are pretty amazed what their body tells them through the scanning UV2. And if you're curious, just get it done or ask me questions at my consultation. And on that same site are my programs. Remember, that's 20% off, not 25. Take Your Body Back, which is a 12-week weight release mindset coaching program where you are going to have 12 weeks Zoom meetings. The first one's always private to you because I am a certified HIPAA compliant practitioner. Those assessments are private. I go over those. I go over the 3 different meal plans, which includes that GLP program. I give you directions on one. I also give you instructions how to create a new version of you that'll drive you with emotion and passion to achieve your health and weight transformation goals throughout your journey. The rest of the coaching will be celebrating your wins. I'll show you how to use those sports, and I'll get you over gaps with health and mindset tips. You will become a new you. Ask me questions at my consultation. If you're do-it-yourselfer, Why Fast is for you. It's an intermittent fasting program that will get your cells and body humming and turn boosts your metabolism with high quality essential nutrients and good quality food as well, and exercises of protein and recipes. You can always ask me questions about that program. If you need some coaching on that, I'm more than happy to do that. There's a 2 or 4 week program. Just remember that intermittent fasting repairs cells, reduces inflammation, and gives you mental clarity. You can also use a smaller programs for mindset enhancement as well as health optimization. Truly, these other 2 are longer term journeys, and the bigger program is more economical. But you can try this, for a couple of weeks, and I can also create a custom program for you, especially if you tried it for a couple of weeks. I can really see what you need. We briefly talked about these offers. Hope is for women from 30 through 100 who are in the pause, perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. I already explained. I had some digestive issues here and there, and that probiotic in this product really helped me a lot to resolve these issues pretty darn quickly. There's also something called Life Balance, which helps with menopause symptoms, and also Rejuvenate, which actually helps you age gracefully. It's a complete women's system. The GLP program that we briefly touched on is the GLP 30-day system. There's 3 products in that. The first one is actually a liquid shot that you drink for 10 days. It's called Elevate. The second one is another drink you drink for 20 days. It's called Activate. All of them are going to get that GLP where it needs to be so you crave less and release weight. The daily fiber is called Regulate, and that's going to help regulate your bowel movements, and you'll be getting rid of toxins so it doesn't stay in your system, so it's completely safe for you, and at least less safer than the medical ones out there. Ask me questions at my link tree. And I also have Debi's coaching chats, which is an intimate group setting for a 30-minute coaching session, and it's not recorded, and it's based on one of these topics, and which you can read later if you watch the video. It's on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you need to be registered for it at debichangeslives.com. That's DEBICHANGESLIV as in victory ES.com/chats. And you'll learn what my coaching is all about. And you can ask me about the questions if you need to at a consultation. Also, learn more about alternative health services, programs, products, and offers, articles, blogs, upcoming shows, as well as events and promos by subscribing to my newsletter. That again is at debichangeslives.com. And this time, / radio TV show, all in lowercase with one word. And as a gift, I give you a 30-day health and mindset daily action journal where you can record your gratitudes, thoughts, feelings, emotions, food, water, supplements, and exercising on a daily basis. You can even track your measurements. You want to review it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, see your wins and celebrate them, find your gaps to work on. If you need to bridge that gap, you contact me for coaching. This journal is a great health and mindset awareness tool. I am certain that you found this show educational, informative, and enjoyed it. Reach out to me for my services, products, programs, and offers. And ask me more questions about what Youngevity offers. And if you have any questions for Rocio, you can ask me questions as well. So can we have Rocio come back?
Hey there.
Are they allowed to email you?
Yeah, they can email me. And my email addresses are ramos@youngevity.com. So that's RRAMOS@youngevity.com. So
okay, great. And they could always buy the products from me. So now, is there anything else you want to say? We have a few minutes.
I think we touched on so much. I'm just, happy to help anybody. Like I said, this is a big passion of mine, especially I've worked with women for years as a personal trainer, as a coach. So if anybody needs any support, Debi and I are here to help you guys. Exactly.
And I got to tell you, she's the one that does the exercises for Why Fast.
Any movements, if you need workouts, we have those available on the Why Fast page. So definitely, if you are you're stumped, you don't know what you want to do, go in there. There's a library of workouts for everybody.
And she does it at different levels. So you'll find your level that will be perfect for you. So that's what I love about those little exercise videos. So thank you for being on my show today. I really appreciate it again, and I will have you back. So I'm going to be closing it out now. So continue to enjoy my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins. begins.